That's right. Must be some kind of neighborhood thing going on here.
Yep. At least of the downtown core. And as we make our way through this intersection, if you look over to the right-hand side, you'll see some beautiful painted murals that give you a reasonable depiction of how Vancouver looked back in the early days of our city. Now, the downtown core was separated here at Columbia Street, downtown Vancouver on the left, Chinatown over on the right. And one of the things you'll notice as we drove through Chinatown, a lot of the old heritage buildings are made of brick. Well, the city of Vancouver and the original builders of the downtown core, who built Vancouver's gastown, used wood frame construction. It was faster and easier to manage. The Chinese community, however, knew to use brick. Well, in 1886, the city of Vancouver was officially constituted as a city in the province of British Columbia. About 6 days later, June 12th, 1886, a worker at the Burrard Mill, right where those trains are passing in front of us, started a small brush fire in an effort to clear some land for an arriving shipment of logs. In about 8 minutes after starting that fire, the city of Vancouver was ablaze, particularly the wood frame construction that had been used to construct gastown. The Chinese community was relatively unscathed as they had used brick. The downtown core was destroyed by the end of that day, and they decided to rebuild. They took a page from the Chinese community here in Vancouver, used brick again. Now, Vancouver's gastown, which is the area we're going to enter now, began its development in the early 1860s. Currently, some filming. You might be interested to know that the #2 industry in British Columbia is Hollywood North television and movie production. We frequently see the streets in downtown Vancouver closed to facilitate that. As we turn the corner here onto Pender Street, this bronze building over on the left-hand side is the U.S. Consulate here in Vancouver. It is the heart of our government district. The government district starts with the Douglas Jung building one block further down to the left and kind of ends at a very important building just ahead, and it'll also be on the left. As we turn the corner here, I will point it out. It's a very important building in Vancouver. It's the Revenue Canada building. Now, I point this out, Revenue Canada, for those of you who don't know, is the same as the IRS, just not as nice. And if I have any people who work for Revenue Canada, my name is Bob, not Chris. The Tax Services Office over on the left-hand side. Now, you may have heard that here in Canada we had an election recently, and following an election, we get a new government. You can go inside and actually see the ship from top to bottom. Over on the left-hand side is one of the many and by far most interesting artistic displays throughout Vancouver. That particular sculpture set, it's an interactive display called Laughter is the Best Medicine. The concept behind it is that you go into the sculpture, whatever face they are making at you, you make back at it, and it's supposed to make you laugh. And if it doesn't make you laugh, I guarantee it will on the 50 people who are on the bus looking at you making faces with a bronze statue. Kind of neat. And we're on the edge of the West End in an area known as the Davie Village. It's a very colorful district of downtown Vancouver. Very safe. There's lots of neat little restaurants and shopping. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that there's a tremendous amount of people on foot as we head through the downtown core. Typically, if you live in downtown Vancouver, you might own a car, but you won't drive it very often. I know when my wife and I, our first apartment was just at the very bottom of Denman Street, the road we're turning onto now. And we had this nice little Honda Prelude that we didn't move for about 3 years. We walked everywhere in downtown. You don't tend to need to drive too much. Now, in the inner harbor of English Bay, on the last Wednesday of July, last Saturday of July, first Wednesday and Saturday of August, we have a tremendous fireworks celebration that takes place. Draws a huge crowd. The 30-minute display that starts at about 10:15 at night once it gets nice and dark, to the tune of about 400,000 people will crowd their way down to English Bay and along both sides, Vanier Park and the downtown side of English Bay, to enjoy that particular spectacle, one of many celebrations that go on throughout the summer here in Vancouver.